On the opposite end of the video call, my younger sister appeared, adorned in a dazzling outfit, flashing a wide grin. "Oh, sis, congrats on your wedding. What are you up to over there?" "Me? I'm just changing my dress," she remarked as she displayed her entire ensemble on the screen. To my surprise, she was wearing the exact same colored dress I had chosen. Curiosity got the better of me as I wondered what a wedding without any relatives would feel like. "I'd love to see it," I responded innocently. However, my sister, subtly trying to one-up me, exclaimed upon seeing the screen, "What on earth is happening over there at your venue?" My name is Nancy, a 30-year-old office worker, about to marry my boyfriend Paul, who is a year older. We both share a passion for watching professional baseball and met at a baseball stadium. He proposed on the way home from a game, and we found ourselves in a situation akin to the seventh-inning stretch, not allowing a run despite having runners on base. However, an unexpected adversary emerged: my sister Lily, 4 years younger. Lily, with a cute face even more adorable than mine, harbors a slightly twisted personality. She has been imitating me since childhood, copying everything from school activities to clothing and hairstyles. Despite complaining to our parents, they always sided with Lily. While our sisterly relationship isn't bad, there were moments when the greatest hate sprang from the greatest love. Even in matters of marriage, Lily mimicked me. After introducing each other to our parents and going through the engagement process, Paul and I started preparing for our wedding. We embarked on a journey to find the perfect wedding venue, meticulously comparing estimates and dates, engaging in serious deliberations. Our dedication mirrored the careful consideration we put into predicting the starting lineup of our favorite baseball team. After exhaustive effort, we discovered a venue where we could hold a ceremony on the anniversary of the day we started dating. Destiny seemed to guide us. "Let's have the ceremony here," we decided. A few days later, a call from Lily surprised me. "Oh, sis, I decided to get married too." I genuinely congratulated her, and Lily laughed happily, explaining, "I thought, since you're getting married, I should too." I pushed him to propose to me. I was taken aback, questioning the reason behind her decision. "Getting married just because I am? Is that really okay?" I asked. Lily casually revealed, "Guess what? I accidentally set my wedding date to be the same as yours. Turns out the day you guys picked is considered lucky or something. Right? We thought we might as well go with the flow." Despite the coincidence, we had chosen our anniversary for sentimental reasons. "Lucky day indeed," I replied, trying to accept the situation. However, my bewilderment grew when Lily added, "We decided to get married on our anniversary. Why on earth would she do something so unreasonable?" "What about the guests? Isn't it better if they attend my wedding? I mean, come on. Guests will have more fun if the bride is cute, don't you think? You just can't pull that off, sis." I was left dumbfounded by her audacious plan, contemplating the impact on our guests. "So that's the plan. All our relatives will attend my wedding." "I've already contacted everyone in our family," Lily confidently declared. Lily's abrupt hang-up left me in a state of panic. She had already contacted everyone, and the swift action felt like a runner being forced out at home plate due to a fly ball in foul territory. If I contacted our relatives now, I feared they would view me as the unreasonable one and sympathize with Lily's situation. What a disaster. Until now, Lily's antics had been only slightly annoying, but now she had directly challenged me. Faced with such a formidable adversary, we had two options: either change our wedding date or proceed as planned, a change-up or a straight play. Apologizing to Paul for Lily's inconsiderate actions, I sobbed. When we discussed it with our parents, they expressed the hope that we could resolve the issue ourselves, subtly implying that they expected me to be the one to give in. Frustration and sadness overwhelmed me. I felt fed up with my sister and parents seemingly happy about jeopardizing their eldest daughter's wedding. My husband genuinely listened to my concerns but pointed out, "Your sister is the kind of person who mimics everything, right? If we move our wedding date, won't she just do the same and end up overlapping with us?" Convinced by his reasoning, I agreed that adjusting our schedule, only for it to be crushed again, would turn our wedding memory into a single word: disastrous. I refused to let that happen. If it's going to end up like that, there's no point in moving the date. We should value our anniversary and proceed with the ceremony as planned, he suggested. The realization hit me that none of our family or relatives might attend. Worried about inconveniencing them, I fretted, let's think about that. With our heads together, my husband and I decided to keep our wedding date. Our parents were terrified at the thought of their two daughters having weddings on the same day, causing a scramble for attendees. Think again. It will inconvenience our relatives. At least push it back by 6 months. You don't say the same thing to her, they advised. She was the one who selfishly decided this, and it seemed like everyone thought that if I backed down, everything would resolve itself. I refused to comply with their expectations any longer. This was my once-in-a-lifetime wedding. When I shouted my feelings out loud, my parents were flustered, but soon they confronted me with stern faces, insisting on an apology. Your dad and mom didn't mean anything like that. It's rude to talk to your parents like that, they scolded. If I were the judge, parents like these would be ejected. That was it. I no longer saw them as my parents. Goodbye. I am no longer your daughter. And so, I had a fallout with my parents. Surprisingly, I didn't feel sad. Instead, I felt relieved. It was their choice. After falling out with our parents, my sister contacted me immediately. Sis, what did you say to mom and dad? Both of them look really scared, and the atmosphere at home is so tense. I calmly informed her that I told them I'm not changing the date for the wedding. What? My sister gasped. But all our relatives are going to come to my wedding, right? Including dad and mom. Are you okay with that? I replied, I'm fine. Do as you please. I've cut ties with my parents, so I don't care about the relatives either. Wow, really? Then let's both have fabulous weddings, my sister suggested, seemingly unfazed. I admired her audacity. She was the type to pretend she's hurt even if she wasn't hit by a dead ball. The only reason we've been getting along as sisters so far was because I've been putting up with her, silently enduring to keep our family together. Perhaps this fueled my sister's audacity. By the way, sis, what kind of invitations did you choose? What pattern? What color? Are the addresses handwritten or printed? She inquired. I haven't decided yet, I replied. Well, make up your mind. You've got great taste. I want to use yours as a reference. The word reference made it clear. She was planning to copy me, as my husband predicted. If I were to change my wedding plans, she would follow and mimic me. Once I became aware of how much I had been enduring, my sister's copycat behavior began to feel like tremendous stress. But wait, this might be an opportunity to stop unnecessary endurance, a chance to give a piece of my mind to my annoying sister and my insensitive parents. I pondered a few options, and then it struck me, oh wait, I'll send you some pictures. I decided to be unexpectedly kind to my sister. My sister, oblivious to my intentions, rejoiced with perverse delight. Wow, I'm so happy. I knew I could count on you, sis, she exclaimed. If she wanted to rely on me, then so be it. Even I am capable of pulling off a trick play. After that, I lost all contact with our parents. We cut ties. But I still kept in touch with my sister. As expected, she chose the same invitation I did and politely sent one to me as well. Then she started fishing for information about my wedding. As the wedding approaches, our frequency of contact has increased. What color is the dress? What kind of fresh flowers? What is the ratio of men to women on the venue staff? I grew increasingly irritated by my sister, who asked me about everything. Then she sent me a text that read, I've chosen this dress. It looks good on me, doesn't it? With a picture of herself wearing the exact same dress I had chosen. If she wanted to mimic me that much, then let her. Finally, I made a phone call to my sister for the first time since the day she informed me of her wedding date. Hello, so I changed the menu for the wedding bit. She was surprised, asking why. I upgraded the meat dish, asked for a better drink course, and added one more appetizer. She responded with a puzzled "oh, huh? What does it look like? Do you have a picture?" I replied, "Sure, but what will you do after you see it?" She requested to see it, and I told her, "I'll use it as a reference." By reference, she meant to use it as a model, doing the same thing. I sent her the picture, but not without a cautionary note. Make sure you discuss it well with your husband. Changing the menu can significantly affect the wedding expenses. You said you couldn't afford any more expenses last time. I know that. But if you guys can do it, then of course, we can do it too. That's what you think. It would be nice if you could. My sister urged me to send the pictures immediately and hung up. I let out a huge sigh. Watching me, my worried husband said, "Why don't you stop contacting your sister? It's stressful, isn't it?" Yes, it's stressful, but I can't stop now. I've decided to teach her a lesson. If I back down now, I'll end up going down the same path as before. I can't stand that. It's okay. I won't stop. This is a battle between sisters who share the same blood. I'm going to win this fight. This is the WBC for my sister and me. Not the World Baseball Classic, but the Women's Bridal Classic, you knucklehead. On the day of our weddings, my husband and I were both nervous. There was stress about being in the spotlight on one of the most important days of our lives, and we worried if everything would go as planned. However, once the ceremony began, all the nervousness vanished. Everyone we invited watched us with warm eyes, and I was so happy that I burst into tears. The reception following the ceremony started smoothly, and I was on cloud nine. Even during the reception, I kept my smartphone close by for taking photos with the attendees. Then my phone rang, thinking it might be bad timing, but when I checked the screen, the call was from my sister. I hesitated for a moment, but then moved to a corner of the venue to answer the call. On the other end of the video call, my sister dressed in a gorgeous outfit was grinning. "Oh, sister, congratulations on your wedding. What are you doing there?" "I'm in the middle of changing my outfit," she said, showing her entire outfit on the screen, the exact same dress I chose. "I was wondering what it's like to have a wedding without relatives. I want to see, show me." "Okay." I switched the camera and showed her the venue. Seeing the situation, my sister raised a surprised voice. "What's going on with your venue? It looks like a standing party." That's right. Instead of a regular reception, we decided to have a pay-as-you-go wedding reception party. What? When my sister decided to have her wedding on the same day, we realized that a regular reception would be difficult. Honestly, we felt helpless. So we consulted with the venue staff, and they proposed this idea of a pay-as-you-go wedding reception party. We decided not to have a formal reception, but a casual party instead. We made the opening speech, the toast, and the closing speech. The rest of the time was dedicated to chatting and recreation. We asked the guests to contribute an attendance fee and didn't accept any gifts. The food was buffet style. Normally, a reception serves a full-course meal, limiting the number of people at one table. With buffet style, you can increase the number of people around a table, inviting more guests. The attendance fee multiplied by the number of invitees became the budget for the reception. So, the more you can invite, the bigger your budget becomes. And because it's an attendance fee and not a gift, it's easier to manage the finances. We were able to increase the grade of the food within our budget. The reason I was able to be on the phone at the edge of the venue despite being the main character is that it's a casual party. I didn't know anything about that. I wasn't told. Why not? Because you would have just copied it. I didn't want you ruining my special day anymore. If I told you, I would have to tell the bosses and relatives that I already invited not to come. On the other end of the phone, my sister's mouth was hanging open, her face looking a bit pale. "That dress looks good on you." Yeah. But you're going to wear it too, right? You said you were going to change outfits." "I've already worn it for the photo shoot, so I won't be wearing it today. We're changing into the team's uniform for the rest of the ceremony. We've invited our fellow baseball fans. We're really looking forward to having a blast. But that's nothing like my wedding. It might not be. Well, let's both have a wonderful day. Bye. With a full-hearted smile, I waved to my sister. I felt refreshed, like I had finally settled a grueling match. I returned to the circle of guests with a bright mood. Later, I sent a postcard announcing my marriage to relatives. According to a relative who called to congratulate me, my parents avoided talking about me as much as possible on the day of the wedding. When asked if we had a fight, they replied, "She is no longer our child." Wow, so I'm no longer their child. Just what I wished for. I don't need parents who take my sacrifices and patience for granted. I'll leave them behind. My sister was emotionally unstable in the latter half of the wedding. Up until then, she was over the moon as the star of the show. But that changed as soon as she came back from changing her outfit. She was restless and couldn't calm down, nervously attentive to the staff's movements and the flow of the reception. She even asked if they could change the dishes from that point on, or if there was anything that could be canceled. How unreasonable. The venue staff must have had a hard time. As long as she was copying me, she could escape responsibility by saying, "I did the same as my sister." But this time, on the big stage of the wedding reception, she couldn't use that excuse because my sisters and my weddings were completely different. The responsibility for ignoring the budget and demanding upgrades to the food and changes to the outfits all fell on my sister. She probably started looking for a realistic line in a panic, but it was a little too late. According to the relative who told me the story, the food was wonderful because they changed the usual menu to mimic the food at my wedding party. It was a special menu, and on top of that, they upgraded the food. So the cost of the meal alone must have been hefty. Changing outfits also incurs costs for the dress and makeup. I wonder how much the total payment was. It's like signing a free agent without considering the team's budget, and as a result, the cost unnecessarily ballooned. The relationship with the husband's parents deteriorated, affecting the couple's relationship. Their marriage started with the relief pitcher getting burned and giving up a lot of runs, so it's no wonder it didn't go well. They apparently separated soon after they returned from their honeymoon, but my sister, it seems, can't even return to the family home she should have been able to rely on. In our parents' home from which the crucial element, me, had been removed, the relationship between my parents and my sister seems to have become rapidly unstable. She told me everything, probably to put the blame on me, even though I hadn't asked for any of it. Divorce seems inevitable. It's a pity, but I don't feel guilty at all. When she finds her next partner, I hope she will think and act independently. Once the rush of the wedding was over, my husband and I visited my in-laws. We went to express our gratitude once again to my in-laws who understood our decision to forego a wedding ceremony and reception with relatives and to hold a wedding party instead. To our surprise, my in-laws had prepared a luxurious cake for us as a surprise. The room was beautifully decorated, and there were pretty flowers everywhere. They warmly welcomed us, congratulating us on completing the party. Despite not being able to see their son in his tuxedo because of my circumstances, they were incredibly kind to me. I was so grateful and moved that I burst into tears in front of my in-laws who were holding up their cameras. My husband and I cut into the cake together, wedding cake cutting. Despite losing heavily to the opponent's lucky 7th inning, we managed to hit a grand slam and pull off a spectacular comeback. We swept away the old family, and now it's the start of a new life. We will surely be happy from now on.